Oh snap! It's Zim Zam, the baddest caster in the entire land, coming to you loud and clear from the heart of the world, Cloud Kingdom, with a TVZ that will make you pee your pants. Ha. Now let's get into this. Being created in the lower left-hand side, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the bane of every Zerg's existence, the boy who obviously has no idea how to spell the English word for to purchase something. It is Bai, looking like a champ. Spawning adversely in the top right, we have the kid with a little too much saliva on his bottom lip, perhaps falling off his chin and stumbling down on his chest. It is the kid who, for one T was not enough, two T's had to be inserted into the middle of his name. It is Spittle. Creating an overlord, which is the intelligent move after you've created 9 drones. Because at 9 drones, you become supply blocked. Setting his overlord across the map to park it on top of that little cliff that you can see into the natural of the Terran base. That is also a rather smart move, considering that you want as much vision as you can possibly get. Now, the beginning of a StarCraft 2 game is rather boring when no shenanigans are happening or proxy barracks. As we can see, Bai is building his barracks at the top of his ramp on 12, maybe, yeah, 12. That's normal timing. However, not taking a gas on 13 is also normal unless you were planning on doing a 1 base, which doesn't happen in TVZ. Spittle going for hatch first, which is great. Undoubtedly building more drones, a few more, maybe 2, before he puts down that ever so important spawning pool. Sending out the second overlord, like a champ. Now, it'll be interesting to see when Bai puts down his CC. I imagine that he's going Rax, then CC, not dissimilar to a Terran build against Protoss. They tend to do similar things. There goes the spawning pool for Spittle. Now, since nothing is really happening by sending out his SCV, I'll take this time to talk about myself. My name is Zimzam, Z-I-M-Z-A-M. I'm a High Masters Protoss player on the American server, and I love the game. I love watching it, I love casting it, and up until this day, I love playing it, until I lost many, many games today. It's okay, though. I won't lose hope. I mean, life is going well, depending on how well this cast goes, I would say. By getting in, seeing that Spittle has gone hatch first, he'll get a read on this spawning pool, sees that it finishes at 344 exactly. Now, normally a spawning pool would go down at 2 minutes if he hadn't gone hatch first, and spawning pool would have been done by now, so Bai can tell that it was hatch first, and he'll be able to change up his build accordingly. Getting his CC down, 3 Marines are out now. That should be enough to hold off any sort of Ling attack that Spittle would do, but that's not intelligent. He's grabbing both gases. Now, it's interesting as a Terran player. I hadn't really thought about this, but it's so obvious. As a Terran player, when you get both your geysers, when they finish, you only need to put on 2 workers. Huh, it's so efficient. Zerg and Protoss, when you finish your gas extractor, you have to put on 3, so it's just a little more efficient. Now the Zerglings are chasing down this SCV. The SCV will most undoubtedly get away, considering the difference in speed is not very significant. He seeks refuge behind the rocks, and the Zerglings get propelled away. Huh! Great move by Bai. By putting down a factory, that's great. Most commonly, he'll go into Reactor Hellions and Banshee. Now, the only mix-up we see in TVZ these days is whether the Banshees get Cloak or not, and then past the Hellion Banshee Harass, whether they go into Mech or Bio. That'll be fun to see coming up in the future. Now, Spittle, on the other hand, has 2 queens out already, probably has 4. Now, this is also very standard like mustard and mayonnaise together on a sandwich, because when you get 4 queens, you can kill both Hellions and Banshees. You get a spine caller and you'll be fine against anything. That's why his 3rd base is relatively quick. It went down at 3 minutes plus 3 minutes, which would equal 6 minutes. By moving out with 5 Marines, we'll see if he can get any work done. Probably not. The creep spread is beginning to start traveling toward the 3rd base and toward the first Zelnaga. At the same time, it's rather smart. Oh! 1 Marine goes down! Also 1 Zergling. So that's a 25 mineral loss for the Zerg and a 50 mineral loss for the Terran. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. I can do math. Oh, wow. Woo. makes me look like a genius. The barracks finishes up a tech lab and will be switching with the sexy starport to create banshees. And in a few minutes, we will find out whether he's going for cloak or not. There we go. Hellions come out, the first two, roasting up some Zerglings. Let's see if Bai loses any units. One Marine is on the cusp of life, and it goes down! But all the Zerglings are cleaned up by the Hellions. Oh, yep, Cloak is prepared. So this will be very interesting. We'll see if Spittle has any Overseers or Spores out in time to stop the effervescent attack by Bai. Oh, yeah. Let's take a look at the army supply, worker supply, 38 to 46. That's nothing irregular. One Hellion does go down. That was a bad move by Bai. Needs better control, yo. That's okay. I'm sure he's learning, as am I. A tech lab comes down in the barracks that moved from the other tech lab, probably to start stim sometime. Yep, there it goes down. Wow, I'm really good. These Hellions, just clearing out some creep tumors. Now, they are malignant, which means that these Hellions must be, I don't know, neurosurgeons or something, getting rid of brain cancer. Brain tumor. Let's not be stupid. First Banshee comes out, making its way toward the third base. Hellions coming in, killing Zerglings. Let's see if they can get this queen that has barely any health walking around. Oh! Goes down. It looks so cool when it gets toasted. Oh my gosh. Call these George Foreman Hellions, because everything is getting grilled. Zing bang. Banshee coming in. This will add a lot of DPS, damage per second, if you don't know what that means. Anyways, more Zerglings coming down. Now, Spittle's just adding logs to the fire, rather literally, and in this case, the logs come in the shape of a Zergling. They're just going down. Now, the Banshee, we'll see if it activates Cloak. It does. It goes invisible, like me on Skype when my mother gets on. Hellions still doing damage. Coming around to the third base. Wow, and opting to go out. Now, the Banshee's looking around, seeing if it can get any more damage dealt. It's still invisible. Runs into a Spore Crawler there. Let's see if he targets any drones. Do it, bro. He gets one, and the Banshee goes down. That was rather horrific. Hellions coming in, killing more Zerglings. Actually, yep, they all go down. 3 of them are in red health, 1 is in green, 2 are in yellow. It's like a Jackson Pollock painting. It's amazing. Oh, following up with 4 more Hellions. Now, back at home, we see 5 barrackses, double ups. This is extremely indicative of bio play. So that's interesting. We see that even though he started off with Hellion Banshee, Bai is not moving into mech. He's going bio. You know, you can go either way. They're both rather strong, just depending on how good your Zerg opponent is. And in this case, we don't know yet. He has not dealt with the harass very well. The Banshee going invisible once again, like me in a lady's dressing room. Targeting those Banelings, that was a great move. 2 of these queens are on the cusp of death. Oh gosh. All 3 queens are stacked up. 2 of them go down. Zerglings trying to kill these harassing Hellions, but it just is not working. Now, 2 queens are out. 1 goes down. The other is undoubtedly going to fall. This is a terrible situation for Spittle. Spittle! Oh my goodness, man. You need to learn how to stop Hellion Banshee harass. I mean, I hate to be negative, but this is rather demoralizing for me, and I'm just watching. He is morphing an Overseer to try to get rid of this Banshee, but it keeps doing work on the 3rd hatchery. That's never good. Okay, so during the harassment, Bai put down his 3rd base, dropping mules like a complete champ. Although, to be honest, what Terran is not a complete champ when they have mules, right? Spittle coming for a counterattack with 10 Zerglings. However, they will do absolutely 0 considering that there is a bunker with 4 Marines. And we all know that a bunker with 4 Marines does significant damage to anything nearby it. Wow. A huge army coming out from Bai. Macro like a goddess. Or rather a god, considering the fact that Bai is a man. I actually checked. Not like in person, you know. I checked on lines. Anyways, fourth base for Spittle has gone down. We'll see how long that stays up as Bai is moving out and he has it in his sights. Spittle back on the top of his ramp to his third base is morphing Banelings. How many Banelings are there? 12 for the moment. We'll see if that's enough. Bai is sieging up. He's got great vision with the scan up top. Banelings are coming in. Let's see how Sply's splitting ability is. Splitting better than a Russian gymnast. Cleans up all the Banelings and the Zerglings. Has 4 medevacs left over, a handful of Marines, but as we all know, Marines with medevac support cannot be killed unless you have something invisible. Wow, but even something invisible can be seen by scans. How overpowered can Terran be? Now, I'm just joking. I don't think it's overpowered. Everybody knows Protoss is OP. Oh gosh, easy mode race 1A. Ha! 5 Marines do make it back into the medevac to go home. Back at the base, we see 2 factories. That's pretty good. His production is very well. Macro-wise, Bai is in a good position, keeping his minerals under 1,000. However, Spittle, on the other hand, is not doing very well. 1,500 minerals, perhaps more macro hatches were needed, but he's double expanding, which is a great move in my opinion, because he did clear up that army, but the Banshee is molesting this 5th hatchery. By putting down his 4th, keeping his macro train steaming like the Oregon Trail. 5 infestors are out now for Spittle. Let's see if the energy is high enough to fend off this Marine tank aggression. The Banshee does cloak, but there is an Overseer over there. Fungal's going down. Wow, that's a poor life for those Marines. But the 4th base did go down. The 5th is up. The Banshee was exported away. Great one, great one. Let's take a look at the army tab here. 4,000, yep. So, as we can tell from the previous state of the game in the beginning, Bai has a massive lead. Massive lead. He has 4 bases. Spittle is mining efficiently off 2. He has technically 3, but it's not normal. But the harvester counts are even, 74 for each. You know, rather high considering the amount of harass Spittle has taken from the beginning of the game. Has a number of infestors which will do a toll on Bai's army if he's caught out of position. More Zerglings rallying in. The hive was built at the natural and there is an Ultralisk cavern, so we know that Ultralisks will be coming out, not Broodlords. That's not conducive to winning in my opinion because Broodlords are extremely hard to kill. Ultralisks are rather well, but it doesn't work. Spittle coming in on a counterattack on the 4th base of Bai. Many Banelings, even though it's a planetary fortress and it's hard to kill, it still goes down. Excellent move by Spittle, and he still gets out of there with a rather significant amount of Banelings and Zerglings. However, Bai is pushing in toward the 3rd base with a massive drop coming into the main. Wow, 16 Marines coming out of there, and they'll be stimming soon. And when you have 16 Marines in your main and a huge army at your 3rd, things are looking dire. Oh man, let's see, Spittle. Yep, he cleans up the main base at the 3rd. But in the main, he's still doing massive amounts of damage. Bai is great at dropping people. Dropping more people than a retirement home. Dropping more people than Kimbo Slice. Bai is a champ. He's a champ. You heard it here, folks. Bai is a champ. Oh, moving in at the 3rd base with another 2 medevacs. Getting out of there because there was a spore, but he killed the hatch. He's going to get the main, too. So now Spittle is down to 2 mining bases. However, Bai's macro is amazing, and he has another army coming in at what would have been the 5th base. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. This man is a champion. Let's take a look at the income. We have 39 drones. That is not very high. I mean, mathematically speaking, 70 is much higher than 39. You might even say it's not quite double. Anyways, 2 Ultralisks coming out. There are 3 on the field altogether. There's many Marines and tanks. Ultralisks mixed with Infestors are great against Marine tank. However, we'll see when Bai spots the Ultralisk, we'll see if he change into Marauder and gets rid of the tanks. That's what I would like to see. There are fungals going down. The Ultralists are winning this battle, but more Marines coming in. There's more fungals than an Indian's man's foot. Ultralisks are getting taken out because the infestors are out of energy. Bai does not need to fight these infested Terrans, as they will disappear in a moment. Like me when my girlfriend wants to hang out on Valentine's Day. Good one. So, Bai economically is in a rather poor position as well. He only has 2 mining bases. Spittle still has that hive, has 2 relatively efficient bases. However, they're not acceptable at this stage of the game. It is 21 minutes into the game, and both players are on 2 base. However, it looks like Bai is moving out to retake his 4th. That's a great work. Now, Bai is also moving into the 3rd base, splitting his Marines better than a Chinese child's pants. Spittle is, however, taking them out. Let's see if he micros back this Ultralisk. That was a great move. I mean, it's not really hard to micro 2 ginormous units when you only have 2 ginormous units. It's rather easy. Anyways, Bai double expanding. That's a great move. Oh, going down to 1 mineral. So intelligent. Now, wow! I am like the master of forecasting. He has Marauders. Marine Marauder. There's no tanks being produced. He probably does not have the mineral income for that. He is floating a massive amount of gas. If he was Protoss, we'd just get him to build some High Templars, but he can't build High Templars. Just Marines and Marauders and Medevacs. Everything with an M. The supplies are 140 to 101, and I would like to make this game interesting, but Spittle is dead. He's dead, unless he gets miracle fungals, which, you know, can happen, and he does have 4 Ultralisks, but his income is not there. It's non-existent, non-present, like me last Christmas. I didn't get any presents. Anyways, many fungals going down. These are excellent fungals. Bai splitting was not that great. Right now, I cannot tell who's going to win this fight. Let's see if we can get another fungal. 1 more. He did have another infestor coming out, but it looks like the Marauders are just too strong. They took out... It was a fairly even trade. 1 Marauder remaining, hunting down these Ultralisks. No, those aren't Ultralisks. They're infestors. They look similar. No, that's not true. They don't look anything like... Ultralisk does not get away. The infestor dies. Reinforcements coming in from Bai. This game is over. Zerglings will not be enough. 70 SCVs to 43 drones. Even if you had 100 drones, you wouldn't have anywhere to mine from, Spittle. Clever. Now, Bai does go up to 4 mining bases. Well, let's say 3, just to be politically correct. Right. Now, let's take a look at the situation. We got Spittle with 5 infestors, few lings, 4 banelings. We got Bai with more money than he knows what to do with, more gas than he can spend in a lifetime, 6 skills, sick macro. If I was Spittle's mother, I would be very concerned. I would call up Spittle and say, hey, honey, are you gonna win this game? And when he was silent, I would force the issue. I would continue to ask Spittle, are you gonna be all right? And he would stay silent. I don't know, I think it's something with me and his father. He resents me for some reason. I'll have to talk to him about it later. Anyways, this game is rather over. Bai has 157 to 95 supply lead. Spittle is in a good position. Bai will be sieging up because he knows how to play StarCraft 2. This, I have a feeling, will be the final engagement. Infestors coming down, throwing fungals around, banelings going down on the tanks, and Spittle is getting spanked. Oh, good rhymes. Good rhymes, Zim Zim. He's got Marauders, Marines, Medevacs, tanks. This game is over. As soon as he takes out this 4th base from Spittle, there's just nothing Spittle can do. He doesn't have any money. He has 100 minerals and 300 gas. That's pretty high. I take it back. He's got some money, but but it's just not enough. Infestors are out of energy, no lings, nothing, and Thor is coming in. Ha! Spittle leaves the game! Leaves the game like a champion! Like a complete champion. Excellent. Yeah, so my name's Zimzam. Thanks y'all for watching. See ya.